and it's also my first live on YouTube, but I've been trying to make content more and more recently, and I'm discovering that a week goes by and all the things and the insights and the shares that I have, they just go unshared because I really don't have time to create videos, to find the right time of the day. The sun is setting here in New York City, and there's a storm that's moving in and out. I think there's very strong winds, so it's very dark. And you know what? I first thought I won't make this video, and I realized I should just make it, and it will be as long or as short as the light allows us. So here we go. I really hope you're well. Today is December 19. You may see this today or later on. And obviously, everyone knows about 3i Atlas. I've received information about 3i Atlas. This is not about that. This is about Lightworkers, compassion, and in essence, what I think of when it comes to Lightworkers, the starseeds, our mission here, when it comes specifically to how we see others and how we treat others and what judgments we have about others. And this is not a video because I do have judgments. It's just a video because I feel the responsibility to have this conversation and to make it available in different platforms. And it will be more than anything in my smaller containers. But here's the thing. I basically was reading a book today, and in different words than what is in this book, it talks about those that are aware right now versus those that are not aware. And of course, there isn't someone who is awakened or aware. We are all awakening to higher and higher levels of consciousness and vibration. But here is the chapter that here's actually the line that I really wanted to highlight, and I felt that I wanted to have a conversation about. You have a certain responsibility as a conscious being to hold the light with humility. And here's what I noticed from so many sessions that I do, whether they're energy transmissions, which I've done so many in the past, intuition coaching for a few months, hypnosis sessions, and so on. Many people come to the session feeling really very down and very bad because they feel different than other people. They think differently than other people. They feel that they don't belong here. And it's very, very stressful, and it can be very lonely. By the way, I can tell there's two of you watching, and I will not interrupt because the sun is almost setting here, and I also don't want to mess up my first live. So let's go. So what I noticed that, let's talk about the deep hypnosis session, but essentially the deep hypnosis shows you what all kinds of other sessions will show you anyway, and can show you when you're in a light trance, in a meditation, whether you're having an intuition coaching session, whether you're receiving energy, you can be aware of the same type of information. But when you're in hypnosis, you can get it so much easier because the conscious mind is asleep. So what happens in the deep hypnosis sessions, many are bringing questions to the sessions, and a lot of them are, I'm alone, nobody understands me, I feel like I'm losing my mind, and so on. Well, these people, those of us who feel that way, we feel that way because we are awakening, because we're starting to realize and understand that something is changing, something is not right, and it can feel very, very isolating. So at first, what I found is very liberating and very freeing for these, for those of us who go through that experience, is to understand why you're experiencing those feelings, why you feel different. And guess what? A lot of the times in hypnosis, in regression, these beings discover that they are starseeds, that essentially they are other type of beings who have not had a lot of times on Earth, and therefore they are not used to this realm, to this density, to this type of vibration, to people, to beings behaving and treating each other in the same way. So they're having a very hard time. So long story short, it can be very freeing for someone to see and understand that they're a starseed, to understand that there is a reason why they feel the way that they feel, that they are different, but their difference is something to celebrate. And through those sessions, they find out what they are here to do, the mission, the purpose, and so on. But more recently, more than ever, I've heard many people refer to muggles. And this is the part that I just want to say that I hope all of us can show up with so much more compassion, because being a little bit more aware and awakening in this lifetime, even if it's just a little bit, from my perspective, is just grace. And it's such a privilege. There's nothing inherent or superior in one being compared to another. If they are going through this awakening experience, it's not because they're higher dimensional being. It's not, yes, that may help, but it doesn't mean that others are behind or they're wrong, or that their journey is not significant. So I think for all of us, when we see what is happening and we are struggling with the reality of what is happening, and we are struggling and we have judgments about others, I think it's so important to try to see how can we find more compassion in all this, and what lessons we are here to learn, because ultimately we can only help ourselves first and foremost in order to then be able to help others. So I personally have felt very uncomfortable with referring to those that are not paying attention to what is happening. They don't know about 3i Atlas. They may not even know that there is an ascension. But many of these beings could be higher dimensional beings carrying a much higher vibration than those that are awakening. And I just want to open up that conversation, because we truly never know what another soul is going through. We never know the sacrifice that another soul is making to, and has agreed to play the bad character, quote unquote, the bad character, so that we can learn our lessons in this lifetime. And because of that, it's so important to be able to find compassion for those souls and to be open that we truly never know. In these deeper hypnosis sessions that I have with clients, many, 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 many come a lot of times because they're part of a couple or a family, a group, whatever the community is, whatever the size of it, where they say, oh my gosh, but the other person doesn't understand anything. They don't know, they don't want to hear, they don't want to listen. And I've discovered through the sessions that so many souls are resting souls. They have had literally one client. I remember her today, and she was more in the beginning of me doing this work, who really wanted her partner, was driving her crazy. She really wanted him to be more awakened. And she was told that he has had so many lifetimes of hardship and difficult lessons, and that he's here to rest in this lifetime. And that's why he's having the very simple life that he's having right now. And that gave her peace of mind, and it gave her the ability to accept his journey and not project her judgment on him. So basically, all I want to say is we never know what others are going through. And for all we know, others who appear to not be as awakened, let's say, they could be contributing in a much higher way to what is happening right now and to the shift. And many light workers who are dismissing the experiences of others as being bad or not good enough, or seeing others as muggles. The reality is that there are no muggles and wizards. The reality is that we are all wizards, but some of us have the privilege and the grace to remember in this lifetime that we are the wizards, that we are the creators, that we are more than just a body. And by focusing on our own journey is really the only way to help others around us awaken. But we truly never know what other people's journey is. And hello. Yes, I'm seeing now finally. Well, I was mentioning that this is really the first time that I'm going live, and it's getting really dark here, so I will stop. But hello to those of you who joined, and thank you so much. So really, just going back to this book before it's getting too dark here. When I read this paragraph today, you have a certain responsibility as a conscious being to hold the light with humility. I think really, first and foremost, for those of us who are light workers, starseeds, who are feeling that we are awakening, we have the responsibility more than anything to hold the light and hold it with compassion for ourselves and others. So let me know what you think about all of this, and I'll join you on another occasion live. I hope this helps in some way. I hope you have a really wonderful weekend, and I will see you live another time. Thank you so much for tuning in.